All right, welcome to the EQD Community Podcast version 8, I think. With us, I have NG because he's always here.
Hello.
We have AI, who is also a mod on the Discord, and we have
Hello
Spirit.
there.
I'm not really sure what he does, but he's here too.
Hi.
He's just cool.
Where?
Where? All right, this podcast has a topic of parents inside of the show. So, NG, I'm gonna let you start off. You've got this. Describe what you think of parents in the show.
Describe what I think of parents in the show.
Dude, look, I don't know, man. This is all you.
This is very. They exist. That is a thing
They
they
exist.
do.
Congratulations. All right, no, seriously, let's go back to the. You got the list. Go for it.
Oh, okay. So should we start with the introductions then?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. I'll attack Spirit since I was the one that dragged him over here for some reason. He'll regret this eventually. Spirit.
All right.
How did you first get into My Little Pony? Friendship is Magic.
Oh, it was warm summer evening in the ancient Greece.
Wow, that's
sorry.
long ago.
No, actually, it all started back in early 2013 when I made my DeviantArt account, the first one. And the fandom was going strong at the moment, and I didn't go unnoticed a few like colorful horses on the front page. And I couldn't tell like what was so interesting about them, but I felt a little bit ashamed. All I knew was that it was like some girls show. Why would I care about that? But it was looking nice. And later while, I found myself in this old Starbound forums, if you know that game. And there was this clan, Bronies Beyond the Stars. I was skulking around a little and not really had the courage to join because it was just weird to join those guys, you know. And
It is weird.
it wasn't until I one day noticed my sister watching the show, like just like a random episode, and I watched like over her shoulder. And the next thing I knew, I was submitting an application to the clan on the forums and watching the rest of the show, the rest of the episodes. And later on, I found out about Picarto. I met a ton of amazing people here, and from that I found about the newbie artist training grounds that Equestria Daily made or organizes still. And from there I found the Discord, and now I'm here annoying people.
You just combined two questions into one. I don't appreciate that. You took my
That's
questions
his coming
away
out
from me.
story. Look, you can't take that away from him. He had to come out. He was watching over people's shoulders, and now he's out in the open.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now he's just throwing ponies in people's faces. He goes around. He's
Now-
got like
Everybody knows.
yeah, MLP tracksuits, MLP t-shirt, MLP hoodie.
MLP tracksuits. What? Why is it the first thing you go for?
I
That's
don't know.
a good question.
I was thinking of Tad for some reason, and you know, slapping
There's so
tracksuits.
many things that you could get, like other merchandise. Like,
I meant
oh
to
yeah,
say
you can, like-
trousers. I meant to say trousers.
What?
Tracksuits came out.
Trousers is also a terrible option.
I'm just listing clothes. I'm listing clothes.
Yeah.
And I started with
MLP good.
trousers. I went from bottom up. Is that weird?
It's pretty weird to start with pants, considering I don't think very many people have MLP pants.
Don't worry, I have pajamas.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Oh, that's
acceptable. See.
perfect. That's perfect. Do you actually? Because that would be pretty cool.
No, I don't have any merch
That
except
is
for
Depressing.
like 2 blind bag figures.
Well, there you go.
There you go. You have some merch. Easy.
Woo!
We'll carry on down the list of questions.
You gotta skip the second one because he already answered it.
Yeah, so that's kind of all the introduction ones. So we'll just go into the, show specific. Who's your favorite pony, Spirit?
I'm getting asked this question a lot. This question, and I don't know I can answer. Like, there's so many good qualities about so many ponies out there. How can you pick just one? I really can't. It changes. One episode you see someone do this feat and you think like they're really great. Next episode another, and I just came to conclusion, why choose?
All right, so I'm
How can
hovering
even you
over.
choose?
I'm hovering over Kick Spirit right now. Do you wanna change
Kick
your
Spirit
answer?
for being indecisive.
Oh, I want to change my answer. It's Pinkie Pie.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, you can stay. You're
Yeah,
good.
that's a great answer. I like that. That's a perfect answer. So, following on from this, unless you have any more to say before I meme up your answer.
I don't think so. No.
It's respectable. There are a lot of good ponies in the show. And that's why everyone has a different favourite, because there are a lot of great ones. But isn't there one in particular that resonates well with your personality?
I
No.
don't know if I'm just one. Isn't everyone more like a mix of those 6?
How dare
And
you
more?
try to say
No,
that you
I
have
feel,
more
I
than
feel
one
like
good
that
quality?
too. Yeah.
I'm just 100% Pinkie Pie, nothing else.
I can't believe that you would say that people have more than one good quality about them.
People have one good
But-
quality about them?
I know, right? I'm surprised.
No, you misunderstood me. People have more good qualities, but they're just really mediocre.
Oh, all right.
Savage.
That's acceptable.
Alright, so, best episode, Spirit?
Best episode.
Yeah, we asked the question. You're supposed to answer it.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm sorry to drag on this long.
How
It's
dare
okay.
you've ruined the
I
entire
I don't even know what
podcast.
my favorite is.
Hey, I'm fine. You know what? We're gonna ask you, so you better be ready.
Yeah, you got time to think.
This is unfair. I really liked the finals, most of them.
Most of the finales.
Like-
That's a good choice because that's what everyone picks anyways.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good.
I'll have you know mine isn't a finale. Is there any finale in particular?
Yeah, the one with Play Your Part, the Tarek one, when Twilight was princess and she didn't know what to do. And
Play Your
when
Part
they
is
scored.
season 4 opener.
Yeah,
Are you
Opener.
just listing loads? Are you
That's
listing loads
opener.
of them?
Oh, I mixed up the entire season together. The finale, yeah, with the
Season 4 is just one episode, you know?
one large episode of my life. Twilight's Kingdom. Yeah, that's Artist got it. The finale, Twilight's Kingdom, the one with Terek and
Okay.
Discord getting pulled back to the dark side.
I think that's the safest choice you can make, so you're good.
That is a safe choice. Boring choice,
But
but,
it
a
was-
safe choice.
It was good. Actually, I liked it had some actual tension in the episode. Like there was a real drama. Unlike where you already know that the crisis is gonna be overcome and it's not gonna affect anybody because they're just gonna solve it in the afternoon.
I like it when my problems are solved easily.
I mean, that episode did certainly change a lot, you know? The fucking tree blew up and we got a giant crystal castle. So, yep, not everything went back to normal, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Now, that episode did not have a song, so moving
Oh,
on
it
to what your
did not.
best song was. I was about to say final question, but it's not the final question.
We're not flawless. This one is easy.
Yeah, okay. See, now you can definitely say Pinkie Pie and Flawless. Those are just some amazing answers.
Did you fucking coach him on questions beforehand?
I abstained from that question.
No. I was getting actually private podcast training. I paid a lot of bits for this.
You paid a lot of bits. A lot of bits.
Also, I'm on some experimental drugs. Don't question it.
Final question, Spirit. You ready?
Ooh, alright.
Podcast specific. Who's your favourite parent on the show?
Favorite parents on the show.
Oh,
Why
you're on
you-
there, Spone.
You're
No,
making
I'm
people
dying
choose
currently.
favorites way too often.
People need to
I-
have their favourites. It's a requirement.
I kind of liked RD's parents, but mostly because I like the idea of Scoots getting the family, getting back together.
Whose
And
parents?
there was RD's parents.
Oh, RD.
RT's parents.
I thought you said Artie. I mean, I don't know them
Sorry.
personally, but I'm sure they're cool people.
They're amazing people you wouldn't believe. Yeah,
Rainbow
Licious
Trash's
parents. I think, yeah.
Rainbow, yeah. It was nice when they included Scootaloo and their little family at the end. It was a nice cute little bit. I can give you those. Those are some respectable answers you have there, Spirit. I'm proud of you.
I'm surprised. I was accepted by NG.
I'm surprised that the answers that you told me to say worked. Well, thank you, NG.
Disclaimer, I didn't actually tell him to say these. These are 100% of his own free will.
No, I don't believe you. You're
There
holding
may
a
or
gun
may
to his
not be
head right now.
explosives under his house.
No, he's not. Don't say that. He'll shoot me.
Alright, should I,
Yep, you can attack our resident artificial intelligence.
Alright. Hello, AI.
Hello.
You know what question I'm gonna ask first? That's what I thought.
My
Alright,
favorite
AI.
anime, right?
No, I'm not fucking. No, get out. No. How did you find the show, and also how did you get into the server? And please give us the short version.
Oh, okay. Short version. Let's see. I just knew people were watching the show for some reason back in 2012. I was 17 at the time, and so I wanted to find out why. So I started watching it, and when I did, I couldn't stop smiling. It was just really fun and special to me. So I just, yeah, pretty much the same as a bunch of other people, really. For the server. Oh, let's see. I started playing Team Fortress 2 back in spring 2015, and I knew that a Pony Fortress 2 community existed, so I went to there, hung around there and played on their servers for a bit. But they shut down later in the year, and a bunch of the members went to a new community that they formed called Friendship is Gaming. Which eventually merged with Equestria Daily, and at some point along the line, I became its first moderator too. So that's pretty neat. Never thought I could say that I technically work for Equestria Daily.
No, it's alright. You still don't officially work for Equestria Daily.
Hey,
You work-
his
work
name is
in
on the
spirit.
staff page.
Nah, staff
It
page
is,
doesn't
yeah.
count.
Staff page.
If you don't got that blog mod tag, it doesn't count.
Alright, just
Alright.
self-promotion.
AI, which is let's start with which one is your favorite horse?
It'd have to be one of three, which are
Oh my
Twilight,
god,
Twilight, Sunset, and Starlight. But
this
lately,
indecisiveness.
I've been leaning towards Starlight more.
You know what? That's an alright choice. Yeah, you're taking risks with that, and I can give you that.
My mother always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Can't believe you're not liking Starlight. You know, Starlight is the divisive one. You know, at least you got to have some balls to say you like Starlight.
You gotta have
Yeah,
the balls to say Starlight.
I don't really care what people think about other people's opinions on cartoon horses. I mean,
Well,
people have different reasons for it.
You can't be a part of the community if you don't hate other people for their favorite horse.
Exactly, that's what brings
Rule
us
number
together.
one.
Yeah, like I firstly I know that's a joke and I appreciate it, but like I feel like even though the brony community was born almost out of irony on 4chan, and so was the mantra of love and tolerance, I still think that we should try to follow that. So,
Oh,
so
no.
it's something I've been sticking to personally.
We've got to throw the whole AI out.
Yeah, he's become corrupt. Just cut
He's
him
too,
off.
he's
Unplug
too
him.
far gone. But no, that's good. You got good morale. Good job. Now, I think you might know what question's coming up, but you
Who's
know,
my waifu?
no. Were you not paying attention to anything that we asked, Spirit?
No.
What
I
is
was
your
thinking-
favorite episode?
My favorite. Okay, so I thought about that for a bit. I'm gonna go with another controversial one. The season 3 finale episode, Magical Mystery Cure. It's
What?
just when it came out, it's just I didn't care about how the community was going up in arms. It's just when I saw it, you know, I just really dug how they took a risk with it having like 6 or 7 songs in it, and obviously it's a real turning point in the show, giving Twilight the wings. But the way it was executed, I was just a really big fan of that. It felt really emotional, and it's just something I keep coming back to even now.
You know, I feel like you're just picking things that you want to be controversial.
Yeah.
You know what though? I'll let you have it. I'm not gonna shit on you for that one. Favorite episode? It's something that I can forgive, unless it's Princess Spike. In which case, no forgiveness. But you're all right.
Well, I don't hate that episode.
Yeah, I don't think you hate anything, so
No,
that's
there are
okay.
things I hate.
I don't believe you.
What about Spike at your surface? Is that something you can fix?
What about Spike at your service?
Oh yeah, I've only seen that once, but yeah, I don't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. It's certainly not my favorite.
All right,
But,
then
it was
your
all
favorite
right.
song is probably Spike trying to sing the fucking anthem, right?
No, my favorite song. Shoot, I didn't think enough about this one. Favorite song.
He wasn't ready.
I'm going to say this might not actually be it, but I'm just going to say "Love Is in Bloom."
What?
What?
Love is in
Have-
Bloom.
have you-
The song that Twilight sang at
We
the
know what
wedding.
song it is. We're just asking. What?
What?
Oh wait, actually, either that or that song Celestia sang to Twilight.
Yeah, that one's a better option. That's your answer.
Yeah, that's the better option. We're gonna make sure that you have that one as your option so that people don't look at you funny.
You've
Well,
come such a
I'm
long,
still
long
going to
way.
say I'm still going to say this, that one day when I get married, I want "Love Is in Bloom" to be played at my wedding.
Oh,
It's something
God.
I've been adamant about for years now.
It's time to throw the whole AI out.
Yeah, he's. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
All right, Edgy, fucking lead us off then. I think we've gotten through our questions.
Yeah, those are the introductions. So today,
Actually, no,
this-
wait, hang on,
Oh.
hang on. We had the one special one, I guess, that you wanted to ask as well in the beginning. AI,
yeah,
who is
yeah.
your favorite parent?
My favorite parent, I'll go with Shining Armour, just because
I mean,
when you see him being a parent, you can tell he's just really trying hard, man.
all right, fair enough. There's worse options.
He's a
I
bro.
just
I mean, literally, he is a pro, but you get what I mean.
not the option everyone thinks about, but you know what? Fine.
Oh yeah,
You're like going off of technicalities here, but all right.
You want to throw your answer out here, Spone, since it's a podcast-specific question.
What, my favorite parent?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna go with you first, just so I can make sure that I'm not going to like have to unfriend you forever.
I like pear butter because it was a nice episode, and it might just be like how good the episode was, just swaying my opinions. But she's a cute horse.
It's understandable. Yeah.
There's lots of like, yeah.
Yeah. I
I
like
don't have to
because
explain
yes.
myself. You could just
Look, I was gonna
imagine. You could just
go-
imagine a lot of cute things with her and like baby AJ, and it's nice.
Look, my choice is the same as yours. However, mine is just because like she had the song and I like the song.
Yeah, it was.
Like that's my whole reason. Like I threw it over. If it wasn't for that song, I'd probably go with like Twilight's mom, just because she's the fucking adrenaline junkie and I find that entertaining.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So okay, so we got 2 for Bear Putter. Bear. Why do I keep doing that?
Bear putter. Oh, my favorite.
So she wins, basically. That's a EQD official best mom. Bear Butter.
Best mom confirmed. Man, you've already upset all the people who love fucking Sunburst mom because they've got some weird problem.
They do have some weird problem. Sunburst's mom has got it going.
No. Don't encourage that, please.
Okay, so should we go on with the rest of this now?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we've touched base on our intro.
All right, so starting off the round of parents we're going to fly through today. we have got Twilight's parents. I don't know any of their names, so I'm just going to refer to them as Twilight's mom and Twilight's dad.
One of them is Nightlight, and the other one is
Oh, Nightlight's
Sweet
dad.
Velvet, or
Sweet
Sweet
Velvet.
Velvet?
Isn't that the bat for EQD?
Yes,
no,
that's
yeah,
not.
you're right. Twilight Velvet, that's what it is. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Is Twilight Velvet the canon name?
It's something. It was something Velvet. I know that.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so these two, I don't know much to say about these two. They're pretty much your average Joe for parents.
Yeah.
There wasn't much to talk about up until they went on that airship.
Yeah,
The
that
airship's
airship
the first thing that comes to mind.
was the craziest thing.
Yeah,
AI,
listen.
you want to take us away with some discussion on Twilight's parents? Just your general thoughts on them, whether you like them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's much to dislike about them. I think the first time they spoke was in part 2 of the Flurry Heart premiere thing. Yeah.
Wait,
Was
it
it?
took them like
Was that what
6
they said?
seasons to speak.
Yeah.
I think they talked before that.
No, they've appeared before that, but they
Yeah,
never
no, they
actually
did. They
spoke.
appeared. They became plants. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
Didn't they say anything
became
at like
plants?
their
yeah.
Shining Armor's wedding or something?
They were there. They
They were
cried at the
there.
wedding.
they
But they
were
didn't
there.
talk.
All right, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
believe you. That's just weird.
Yeah, and like the first time they actually appeared was in Twilight's flashback about her getting her cutie mark.
Yeah. That's the parents one. That's the part one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. I guess it took them forever to fucking talk, even though they did exist beforehand.
Yeah, indeed. Anything else you want to throw out on these people? They're just your average Joes. There's nothing really special about them.
Hey, we have to go down the list though. They count.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about them for like half a second.
What about
Move on.
Spone? They're almost your favorite. Do you have anything?
What, me or Spirit?
Okay. I'll go to Spirit first, then I'll go back to you.
Yeah. Don't forget about Spirit, man. He's the
I know.
best.
I
You
was
gotta
gonna go
ask
to
him.
Spirit at the end, but we'll go to Spirit now. Spirit,
Oh,
what do you think
where is
of
the post office?
what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Please go on.
We don't get your next level meme, Spirit.
No.
Spirit, you have to tell us what you think of the parents. Come on.
Of the Twilight's parents.
Yes, Twilight.
They weren't really prominent in the show, that's true. Up until the airship episode. But they weren't a tool to make a conflict in the show, so I think they were designed like just nice, admirable people. Nothing special, nothing too extravagant, too bad, nothing too good. There's not
Just
much more to
parents.
say about them. I'm sorry. You summed
No.
most of it up.
No, you're right. We had to start off with like the boring ones because the boring ones suck.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, no, they're good. I would definitely like to meet them and have a chat with a tea, but I probably wouldn't want to share like a dorms room. with
I would
different
love to
friends.
meet them and have some tea and chat it. Yeah, okay, that's, you know, a little strange. Not really what most people would want to do with just random parents that you came across. But yeah,
I mean,
They're
they seem like
famous
nice
parents.
people.
yeah, they seem decent. They were designed to be decent people. Like, yeah, how's it going, Joe? And that's it.
Yeah, I would wave at
Hey.
them if I was walking down the street and I saw
I
them.
would wave at them.
Whoa! Wow!
Whoa,
That's wow!
little intimate there, NG. come on.
And you're getting wild
I
with
know.
feelings.
It's I'm letting loose
I
my
did
inner devil.
I did not expect this much of affection from NG.
I just wave at random people now. I don't even get consent.
Wow, that's fucking. Can't believe you kind of do that kind of stuff in public. Thought you're supposed to have a fucking good appearance for the server. This is what you do.
NG, do you have a waving permit?
Waving.
Savage. All right, I'm gonna derail this and go get the spoon.
There's no brakes on this train.
That's why I derailed it.
I would have to say Twilight's parents pretty average. Are they interesting? Not really. Do they do much? Not really. Does Twilight's mom love adrenaline shit? Absolutely. And that's probably the only redeeming factor they have.
It was a funny episode. They were funny in that episode. I did laugh at them.
They were like typical quirky parents, so you know what? They can have that, and that's pretty good.
If I had
can
them as my
say-
parents, I would give life the old thumbs up.
I would be satisfied.
I'd be
Yeah,
satisfied.
I would be mildly satisfied. Actually, yeah, they were even in the comic books in the Nay anything.
No, comic books don't count. They're not canon. Get out.
They count. They are canon unless
count.
they count unless proven otherwise by the show.
That's
and
not how
official.
this works.
That's official.
Like, that's like writing some fan fiction and saying, well, it wasn't disproven in the show, so...
It's not disproven. You can't prove it's not going to happen.
No, Shining Armour is a huge D&D nerd, and you're not gonna convince me otherwise. That was one of the better comics out there, by the way.
So what about the bad comics? Do you just discount those?
It usually comes down to the artist. When it's by Andy Price, it's usually good. I don't know if it's just coincidence or he gives that much spirit to the stories, like jokes and references. But there are comic books that don't tell literally anything, and then there are some who talk about backstories and Celestia traveling to another dimensions with Star Swirl, and those are interesting. And then there are some about like a wrestling fight.
Are you sure that this isn't bad fan fiction?
Yeah.
Some of them are.
I mean, I enjoyed the comics. It's been a while since I read them, but
It's like
Thank you.
everyone's seen the comics other than me or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen the comic. I thought like nobody read the comic.
Yeah,
I think
I
we just
thought
have like
it's
the
just some-
random selection really screwed us over here.
I started checking them out when they first came out, like the arc about Chrysalis. That was pretty.
Yeah.
When you start reading it, you can tell that it's such a drastic change in tone compared to the show, because it can get a lot darker in the comics. Like it shows Chrysalis actually killing a cat, for instance.
Yeah.
That's what.
Well, this is why it's not
Those are-
canon.
Yeah, this is. Your cats can't die in the. No one can die in the MLP universe. They just
I mean,
stop
like-
existing.
Yeah, they just stop
It's
existing and they're
possible
hinted at.
It's possible the cat didn't actually die, just had its like, I don't know, its love drained or whatever. But the way it was portrayed was like kind of brutal, at least compared to the show again.
Yeah, I don't think the comics are aimed at the same audience as the show.
No, they're not.
I think they were aiming a little bit older, and it's noticeable.
The real
It's a really
question
good read.
Is there any parent stuff in there?
Yeah. In the Nay Anything, there's a story arc about how Shining Armour went to prom with Cadance, and there were his parents, obviously his and Twilight's.
Oh yeah, and there was that other guy there was that other guy who was being a tool and also wanted to go with her, and Celestia was like, ditch him as soon as you can.
This just sounds
Yeah.
like some bad teenage drama now.
This really sounds, yeah, like
I'm not gonna pretend anything. It is, but it was great read.
all right, fair enough. We're
Don't judge
moving
me.
back to parents. I'm
Don't
done talking
judge
about
me.
comics.
Shall we
Alright, let's-
move on to a parent with some actual personality?
Yeah, please do
At least
it.
an idea? Okay, so we're going to move on to... I'm not going to say Artie's parents, even as great as they might be. He said they were right.
Archie's parents.
I'm going to move on to Rainbow Dash's parents. Rainbow Dash's parents.
Who's
Those clingy,
Never heard of them?
over-helpful messes that are just like, oh yeah, best Wonderbolt, woo! Spirit, do you want to say some words about Rainbow Dash's parents? What do you think of them? Do you like them? Do you think they're...
Yeah, they're actually interesting. You know what I said about Twilight's parents, how there was no conflict anywhere whatsoever. It's just the character is not really believable unless it has flaws. Everybody has flaws. You need to see them to make like the story real. And I think they handled that really well with Rainbow Dash's parents. It was like serious enough to make an episode about it, silly enough to make it believable, also innocent enough so you would not hate them about it. Like they really meant well. I mean, I'm not talking hating exactly, but like for instance, Fluttershy parents aren't that. You can't actually understand why they're acting that way easily. I think with Dish's parents is different. And yeah, I think I really liked how they took in Scootaloo. Their obsession might have been a little bit overboard. Like they might use a little bit of psychiatrist help, but I really am for the headcanon that Scoot actually moves in with Rainbow Dash's parents and they make a new family with their adoptive daughter.
So basically, what you're
That's
saying
it,
is
yeah.
we get rid of Rainbow Dash, replace it with Scootaloo. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, that sounds like a great
Sure
show.
thing.
That is a good idea. You
Welcome to Generation 5.
G5.
How loyal would you say Scootaloo is? She's pretty loyal, right? We can just replace. You can just flat out
She
replace
is.
RD. I'll be pretty happy with that.
Spike got to replace Rainbow Dash, right? There you go.
Yeah, Spike's pretty loyal, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I think of it. It's really like outstretched to replace, but yeah, I think we're gonna get to the point later on.
Yeah, we'll get
It's
to
good
Scootaloo
over-
later.
Yeah,
Don't worry
so
about that.
I'm not gonna smash this too much.
Yeah.
No, I really liked the episode with when Dash's parents were introduced, the one at the academy,
It was
and the
a funny one.
conflict.
I did enjoy it.
Also
That was
this
definitely a good one.
the scene with the book when Scootaloo put like literally anything inside was kind of funny, especially at the end when she presented her project.
That was a cute ending.
Mm.
I wouldn't have had it finish any other way. So
I think it's.
yeah, it's a
Oh,
decent point.
is there something I need to say? Something I left unanswered?
No, you covered a lot of things. AI, what about you?
What about me?
Spirit was pretty thorough there on what he thought of
Rainbow Dash's
Rainbow
parents?
Dash's parents. But what about you? Did you even like them? Did you?
Yeah,
If they were your
yeah,
parents, would you be happy?
I liked them, though. I kind of got that feeling of secondhand embarrassment. But I'm pretty sure that was intentional, though, since it's meant to be relatable. Like, of course, there was a bit of like hyperbole, but it is a cartoon after all. Yeah, so yeah, I did like them. I think they were written pretty well. It's also a little bit charming in a way how dedicated they are to being Rainbow Dash's personal fan club.
Back when she didn't have any. They were her first fans. They got her where she was today.
The original fans.
But then
Quite
again,
true.
they could be contributing to Rainbow Dash's like overly inflated ego because they always supported her no matter what. Maybe they should have shouted her a few times just to stop that happening. That
It's a
could have been
possibility.
okay. I wouldn't have minded that. Spone, what about you? You got some final words on Rainbow Dash's parents?
I don't like them.
You don't like them.
They're annoying ass parents that are overprotective and also like way too encouraging and didn't let her grow up. And that's why she's the way she is, expecting praise for everything and shit. But you know, sometimes parents just accidentally cause problems with people.
So you are saying that you don't like RD and you're projecting your hate on another bunch of innocent people.
No, I would never say that.
I would hate the people that created Worst Pony.
Thank you. But in a way, I do kind of, I liked her parents. I liked the development on them. But I do feel like since they were always like supporting her and stuff, she got embarrassed from it. But also, I think it kind of made her expectations higher for like what she expected for praise from other people.
I mean,
Which I think is neat, and how like they can kind of explain why people are how they are in the show.
that's what I really liked. Some background of the characters and some actual
Oh, yeah.
explanation, and they put this together.
No,
You
yeah,
think-
no, they're
you
not shit.
think-
They're good. They're good design wise. I'm not.
After
I
8
should-
seasons, they're still managing to hold the ship afloat. Like, how do they do that? It's kind of weird that they don't fall apart by this time.
They use lots of air. It's called ballast, and that's how they keep it afloat.
You can feel
Interesting.
Spone's psychology degree radiating through this one.
Look, it happens. Sometimes parents, they do things that they think are good for their kids, and the next thing you know, those kids are like, "Yo, what the fuck? Why aren't you doing this for me anymore?" Or more so, they start expecting it from other people, and then they don't want it from their parents. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't want
But
to be
you ca-
overprotective. Overprotective isn't good.
Sometimes
also
you're
don't want to be so
overprotective,
lax.
and then at the end of it, you create Rainbow Dash. It's
yeah.
that's all you
But
need
you
to
know
do.
how
That's
it
a bad
is.
idea.
But we are not flawless.
Well, yeah.
We're work in progress. Now you see that's the opportunity for others come in. I think that's what the show was all about. Like all of the characters came in with their own flaws from their backgrounds, from their families that might or might not have been their fault, and they all overcame them. Even the parents eventually
Well, yeah.
are
Everybody
overcoming their
hopefully overcomes their problems or stops developing more of them.
yeah.
Rainbow Dash still has some room to go there.
Yeah, but
I mean,
yeah.
Her
Who
parents,
doesn't?
though, they're learning, and I will give them that. They are better than her daughter.
I didn't like what the episode took that Rainbow Dash was in the wrong there, because they were pretty annoying, and I think RD had the Rainbow Dash. I'm not gonna say RD because that's just confusing me. Rainbow
Yeah, you
Dash
say
had a
RD,
right
next
to
thing
be
you know.
annoyed there. She had the right, but it's where the episode went, and in the end of it, it was a good one, and it was sweet, but.
And it's meant to be relatable for people, and I feel like a lot of people do have parents like that, where it's like, you don't got to support me on everything.
Yeah, they're just like, I don't know. I'm just gonna take some typical American BS and just say they're at the bleachers at their football game, and
Football.
they're just shouting really loudly, and they're just
You
embarrassed.
mean
They're just like, oh
soccer?
no. Now I'm
Soccer
talking about
moms?
NFL or something, you know.
You
I
just say
think
baseball, you know.
I think that ooh, I think the
Baseball.
term is soccer mom. You see, one more
The
thing I'd
soccer
like to
mom.
add. If I could add one more thing, how NG summed up the episode was good. There are a few episodes in the season that are just like all right, and I can express it anymore because it's just all right. There's nothing exceptional, nothing boring, nothing
I
that
guess
would
that's the
stand out.
definition of filler, isn't it?
That's
I mean,
how
yeah,
filler
but
episodes.
then
Like
there
mod
are
episodes, always
To
filler.
be fair, it is a slice of life.
But then there are episodes that I just watch, go through, and they literally I can't help but giggle like an idiot. Like you just see
Same
something,
here.
you see the ending, and you're just smiling because it was good, and that always reminds me why I like this show so much. And this was one of those episodes.
It's the same for me, but for pretty much every episode, it's like there's always something that makes me smile, and I can't help it.
I do even frown at something.
Do you even
AI doesn't
frown?
know how to be unhappy.
Nah, he doesn't.
I think yeah, it's just happy. He's permanently happy.
It's not in his code.
Yeah, they forgot to install the grumpiness module.
All right, next parents. I don't want to talk about Artie's parents anymore.
Yeah, they don't deserve
sorry.
it. Don't worry.
They don't deserve it. For what they've created, they don't deserve it.
So we mentioned Fluttershy a little bit during this. Let's just jump to her next. Fluttershy's parents, so Fluttershy's kind of the opposite of Rainbow Dash in some senses, and in a way, so are her parents. They're kind of just Fluttershy Mark 1, if Mark 1 if Fluttershy was Mark 2. That's a terrible analogy. I've confused myself with that one. But yeah, they're pushovers. They just let their deadbeat son walk all over them. Fluttershy is the one that has to come and save the day and teach some assertiveness. And if you're getting taught assertiveness from Fluttershy, you know you're doing something wrong. So let's. Who do we started with AI last time, right? I really need to keep
I
track of
started
this
with
better.
Spirit last time.
Oh, so Spirit last
yeah.
time. Alright, yeah, I'm really bad at this. AI, what do you think of Fluttershy's parents? Did you like them? What did you think of their pushover attitude? What did you think about the episode in the end? Like how
Yeah,
they
they
progressed?
they were nice too. They're definitely a lot more easy to watch than Rainbow Dashes, of course. To be honest, I don't remember the episode all that well. Like I get what it was about. It was about her brother and all, but
Yeah, it was like so her brother was like not in a job or something,
right,
just
right, I
loafing off
remember
her
that.
parents, and they wouldn't tell Zephyrbrieze to move out, even though Fluttershy's parents did not like having Zephyrbrieze there, so Fluttershy had to come in and say, "Yo, Zephyr,
Oh yeah,
you wanna
wasn't that
Actually-
do your own
they
thing?"
were enabling it or something?
Yeah, basically.
Actually,
Yeah. Okay.
I did my research. Actually, the episode was Zephyrbrieze was struggling to get a job, or struggling is probably not a good term because that would imply trying. He just did not give any care.
Flying feather.
Yeah, the haze.
Flying
The
feather.
haze is clearing now. I remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're also they can be relatable in another way depending on like who you are. If you've ever met or dealt with those kinds of parents before.
I have. I can say that.
I see.
Hmm.
So yeah. Yeah.
Did you? So did you like them?
Yeah, I did.
You liked them, okay. What did you I guess yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If you
That's fine. Well, that's good enough. All right. So, how about you? How do you feel about these kinds of parents?
I mean, again, I think the inability to be assertive was driven to the extreme. But in their defense, same it was with Rainbow's parents. But for some reason, it drove me more angry with Fluttershy's parents. Like, it wasn't as easy to believe for me. I think that's just me. While you could see how to work with Dish's parents to fix it, it was like feeling like you could not fix Fluttershy's parents. Like they were way deep down in that. Because the amount the Featherbreeze was walking all over them was almost insane, and they were all excusing it, like it's all right. I think it was maybe his behavior that angered me, and kinda that they let it go.
Yeah,
That
same here.
made it worse.
he was
So
the one taking advantage of them.
I couldn't really find that relatable, because I would have kicked his ass 1 minute into the episode.
I mean, I'm
If
sure
it
we all
was up to me.
Yeah, it's really hard not to want to.
He was a
mean,
hateable character.
Yeah,
Well.
but I mean, with Rainbow's parents, you could see like a way of talking to them and solving the issue. Meanwhile, here you were just wanting to punch a wall or
Yeah,
something.
it's like he's the kind of person who, the way I see it, you don't really want to hate him, but you just can't help it.
He was prepared to meet a character I love to hate.
So you
Miller
thought
tweeted.
the parents were okay, but Zephyrbrieze was just a dick.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
But but he was the problem, but the parents acting just amplified it, and kinda they took like blame as well for what the Zephyr did. I mean,
Yeah. They were nice, sweet souls, very caring.
yeah, they were
And
great, but
it was annoying that they got taken advantage like that.
NG, how about you? Before I add in any of my input.
I've pretty much said what I needed to say, like, before I lost building off what other people were saying. So you can go, Spoon.
Oh boy, you're gonna love this then.
Alright.
So, basically, there's different parenting styles that people have in like real life. Some are more authoritative and like authoritarian versus kind of being like distant and stuff like that. The show does a really good job at representing that. So like Rainbow Dashes, they are constantly on her and being supportive and stuff, which it's pretty good. Fluttershy's are more of like distant, where they don't give a shit about anything that's going on, and no matter what they do, it's all okay. And there's no punishment or learning. So,
was that a swear?
well, yeah, you can swear. That's fine.
Yeah, fuck you, Spirit.
There you go. But yeah, basically, I think that the show does a very good job at kind of extrapolating what they would look like. And Fluttershy's parents are more of the example of what happens when you don't kind of have any sort of ruling or anything on people. Like you have to have people learn from their mistakes rather than just being like, "Oh, that's okay. You can just keep doing that," because then you can end up with people like Zephyr. And yeah, I honestly I really liked Zephyr's character because he just kind of shows more like yeah, he was meant to be an asshole, and that's why I liked him in the show as being an asshole because he was designed to be an asshole that annoys you. And I thought it was pretty unique because it's like, his parents and the way that he was raised kind of like allowed him to become like that because he found out that if he's able to act like that, he doesn't get punished for it. So there's no reason for him not to.
So you like the show from?
Sorry, pardon.
Oh yeah. So you like the show of like being reflective of real life with these.
I like the show being reflective in like some aspects of like representing things from real life, like different parenting styles and stuff like that.
And you think they did that pretty well?
Oh yeah, especially with like Fluttershy's. It was really good. The way that they showed like it creates certain kinds of people if something goes unchecked.
I think.
I'm not saying you need to be super authoritative, but you need to have at least some sort of learning from doing things wrong. You can't just live off of people, mooch off of them, and not do anything.
All right. Yeah. So I wanna ask you some questions at the end of this podcast then to flex your psychology muscles before we close it off.
Go for it.
But
I need to fucking practice anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, Spirit. We spoke at the same time. Sorry, what are you saying?
No, I was just generally agreeing with you. I like how the show actually it's not limited to parents. The show really well portrays many situations from real life, like strongly hyperbolized, if it's the term.
Yeah, they'll hyperbolize things in the show to make it look kind of like, look, these are the issues. Like All Bottled Up is a really good example.
Actually, I think I recall reading about a study which was essentially about what would a pony do effect. Those are such a stereotypical characters. All of them, you can easily take them and assign them as a role model in that particular role. So you can like learn from others' mistakes. You can help yourself decide based on what would the character do. She was doing a really good job of that. And so much it actually got a name.
So I need one of those armbands that says, "What would ponies do?"
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna live your life from now on. Anytime you have a question, just consult the magic 8-ball of ponies.
I actually thought about this when
roll it and then a face would appear telling me how I should act in this situation.
Yeah, it'll tell you how to respond to like you see a picture of Rainbow Dash, you're like, I gotta be confident. You see a fucking picture of like Applejack, you're like, I gotta be honest. You see a picture of Twilight, you're like, fuck, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I need to be real. I need to be real 200 IQ in this situation.
you are laughing, but I actually thought of this when AI mentioned way back in the beginning, like how was the motto of love and tolerance and that we should really try to uphold it. That's exactly what this would stand on. And I must agree with AI on this. Like people could learn a lot from the show if they're just willing to listen and look for it.
Look at some of the mottos. Also, a lot of stuff in the show you should kind of already know, but it's good for kids that don't, and maybe people who are a little socially not all the way there.
Yeah,
Like half the people in the server.
Half the people in the fucking fandom in general.
Like,
Yourself included, NG.
They don't put it into practice, yeah.
It's a nice reminder, though, and I'll give it that.
It is.
All
it
right.
is.
All right, NG. Next parents.
Next parents, who's on the list? Okay, so I've got Pinkie Pie's parents down. I can divert this into two things. We'll start off with the Amish ones before going into Mr. and
The
Mrs. Cake.
Amish ones.
I don't. They
eat rocks.
Yeah,
They're Amish.
These people aren't too special. There's not much to them. They're just kind of grumpy. They don't like happiness, but like Pinkie Pie made them realize happiness in that Cutie Mark story. But then when we see them present day, they still look like grumpy assholes, and they seem like they haven't changed a bit. So I don't really know what's happening with them, but whatever.
I like to see it as they just experience happiness in a different way than most people.
Do you want to go
Just
into
like
that?
it was.
You want to
He-
elaborate a little?
Oh, just like it's more of a it's just okay. So like when Pinkie as a filly throws that party for all of them, like you can see that they're clearly happy. They're having as much fun as she is. But like aside from that, when they're living their life the way they normally do it, of course it goes back to how, as Pinkie said, that there aren't really any smiles or laughter, but it's just the way that they're of living that they're used to. So it's like they're not necessarily sad or anything. It's probably more like they're content. They're generally content with their lives. That's all really.
So
Alright.
basically, their parents are content.
Yeah, very content parents. What about you, Spirit? What do you think about these very content people?
Yeah, they're quite indeed very content.
I like them because they are there, and also they don't seem sad.
Yeah. Oh, they're just showing more of the diversity. Like they're showing another kind of people there is, and that we're all living together on one huge flying rock, and we should
No pun
get
intended.
along each other. So, I mean, I like them for they were here to show like there's another kind. You need to accept them as they are. You can just press your way of life on other people because they might be happy with theirs, even though it seems really like distressful to us.
To build on that, the whole concept of like we're all on this one flying rock and we should all get along with each other and we should like each other. I don't like these people.
I don't like these people. I don't.
They are pretty much the opposite of everything I like about Pinkie Pie. I don't get why
Wait.
Pinkie Pie don't like them.
Wait,
but
are you
they're
talking about
family.
EQD Discord or?
You said a flying rock. You said.
I
Yeah.
already made the no pun intended joke.
Yeah, well, I'm making it again. Whatever. Go on.
How dare you steal my joke? All right, go NG.
Yeah, they don't seem like they like being happy. They don't seem like they support Pinkie Pie's happy lifestyle of just partying all the time and making people happy. They seem like they just want to trudge through life on a rock farm, earning their bits, having rocks for Christmas or whatever the hell those weirdos do. They just
You don't like them because they're weird.
I don't like them because they're weird, and they seem like they shouldn't get along with my Pinkie Pie, you know.
Oh, so this
That's
is
how,
what it's all about.
That's
It's
how
a personal
family works,
issue.
NG.
What, you don't get
Sometimes
along
your
with them?
family. Yeah, sometimes you don't. You're not the same as your family members, but you can still get along with them.
I can't wait until NG gets a partner and gets to meet their family.
Oh boy.
He meets the
And like,
family. So what the fuck is
oh,
this?
I don't like those guys. Get away from him. Get away. He's mine now.
That's how it works. Yeah, I can see that.
But NG, you don't even fish.
I don't even fish. I'm out of bait. I don't know what that
Hey,
means. Yeah,
Oh,
it's fine.
NG,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Spone, you
are you
wanna?
ready for more in-depth description of parents?
Oh yeah, I was about to ask for that. I've got my popcorn. I'm ready.
Yeah, your popcorn.
I'm munching through it.
So these parents are kind of similar to Fluttershy's parents in the fact that they are kind of distant and not like, they're supportive, but they're not really there, and they're not really all that supportive. So they just kind of exist, and this is probably like the worst form of parenting there is, because it relies on the kids to kind of develop their own personality, more so like based on their environment and the other people they talk to instead of from their parents and their close family members. And I think that that's kind of unique because you kind of see that all of the different all the different Pie sisters have like different personalities, and rather than them all kind of having a similar personality, they're all kind of different. And that's kind of because they all kind of had different experiences to base their personalities off of and had them developed.
So this shit is real well written then.
It's kind of real world. It's neat. It's showing like how the different parenting can kind of play a part in how people develop their personalities and kind of what's encouraged and reinforced.
Oh, but this is a good point that someone just brought up. Like, what for Pinkie's parents, like most of the time when we see them, all these ponies are already well grown up, and they are more like they're middle aged, not really acting as parents. So like how
So they're not acting as parents anymore because their kids aren't kids anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we don't see them acting as parents. Rather, we just see how the kids have ended up. With all their different personalities.
I would argue that no matter how old you get, your kids will always be your kids, and I'm sure that your parents have told you that, and also it's kind of apparent from like whenever any of the other characters in the show see their parents, it kind of goes back to like, oh, you're still my, kid, and I'm gonna respect you up until we go talk to Starlight's parents. But yeah, most of the time it's still kind of like, yeah, I understand you've grown up, but you're still my kid. I'm still gonna take care of you, and we're gonna talk and catch up on things and have a good time. Meanwhile, Pinkie's parents, every time you see them, it's just kind of like, hey, you're back. It's kind of it.
Help farm rocks.
Yeah, help farm rocks again. There's not really a lot of, and maybe you can argue that it's not shown in the show, but it's kind of hard to argue that when it's not shown in the show because then we don't know. So I feel like they're just kind of distant, and I feel like that's kind of why you see the variety inside of their family.
That's actually a surprising amount to say on that. I'm pretty proud of you, Spone.
Yeah,
interesting
it's
conclusion.
Great.
Yeah, I like having Spone for this one. This is cool.
I know, it's almost like I've been on all of them.
Yeah, you said quite a bit too, NG.
Yeah, I think I barely recall Spone in other podcasts. I think he was there once.
I've been in a couple, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I can't get anyone else, I just bring him along. I'm the real host.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's just Spone's the filler.
Science the other host from the amount he's been in.
That was an interesting conclusion you brought up. I really wonder if it was the intention all along of the writers, or it was just coincidence and we the reason here.
Yeah, it might be coincidence, but also I think that they think about how to design it, and I really do like the Pinkie, Pinkie's family as in like a design choice because it shows how varied a family can be. A lot of the other families you see like consistency between them. When it's like looking at Twilight's, like, oh, they're all kind of smart, they're all kind of supportive, they're pretty strong-willed, they're all really good developed people. You got Fluttershy's, they're all shy. You got fucking the Apple ones from what you've seen, they all seem like pretty honest, hardworking people. And then you go to Pinkie's and like they're all so different, and it's kind of neat having that for the show to kind of be like, yeah, look, sometimes you and your family, there's going to be a lot of variety there.
Actually, what's interesting now that I'm thinking about it? There is not a family that would not feature the partners having different personalities. Like once there's a family, they're always both the same, more or less.
Yeah, that's more or less true. Yeah.
I never thought of that, and it actually saddens me a little, because I wouldn't mind seeing like two completely different people getting along, despite it would seem that it could not work.
Yeah, no, sometimes, and yeah, it's good. Sometimes that does happen. A lot of time people are usually have some stuff in common. But I feel like Pinkie's family is basically the best you're going to get from the show, with that kind of showing how, people might be different, but yeah, everyone in that family can still get along. Maybe in a relationship like circumstance, you might not get that in the show, but you can get it there a little bit. You can get a taste.
I mean, they're getting along barely, I'd say.
Nah, they get along pretty well, I'd say. Especially like Maud in the family. Limestone, is just kind of an asshole.
Yeah, because
but,
because Maud is exactly like her parents.
nah,
Limestone is really just screaming at everyone.
No,
Maud's
I
cool.
I like Maud a lot more than Igneous or Cloudy Quartz.
How do you know their
Yeah.
names?
Because
come on, I knew those ones.
Because I'm a true brony.
God.
Yeah, and shame on you.
You just go to those some trivia pub quiz at conventions and stuff, and you just walk out with the crown plushie or something.
I'm about to make this podcast 20% cooler.
All right, get the fuck out. You're uninvited halfway through.
He's been uninvited 8 times already. I don't know why we haven't just kicked him.
And 7 of those
it's
times
fine.
was in the introduction when the opinions didn't match.
You ready to move on to Pinkie Pie's adoptive parents or whatever the hell they are?
Yeah, let's talk about them because they don't get enough screen time.
Mr. and Mrs. Cake. What the hell is
Especially
their
Mr.
relationship to Pinkie Pie? I don't
Until
even
we say
know.
it.
They are
I thought
employer
they were
slash.
they're
They're
just
employees.
employers.
Is that all it is?
But she also
Pretty
babysits
much.
for him.
Oh,
Yeah, that
okay.
too.
So she's like the babysitter slash works for them.
And lives in the
Yeah.
same place.
Yeah.
All
Do
right.
Pretty
they
much.
live?
Well, that makes
Do
sense.
they
then.
live in the Sugar Cube corner?
Yeah,
Does-
Pinkie lives in Trixie, does she?
Pink lives there, yeah, but do they as well?
I mean, the babies
Where-
did, so I assume.
Yeah, the babies are there.
I mean, I believe there's been several times shown that they were going home from the work.
Maybe
Or I
they're
might be
just going
mistaken.
out. Yeah, they have kids. Maybe they're going out for a drink and then they come back.
Yeah, you can only
That's
parent
interesting.
whilst wasted.
Exactly.
Yeah, just get a bunch
Especially
of
those
cider.
2 things.
They're just going over to fucking Sweet Apple Acres, getting some cider, and then coming back.
It's
Have they
funny
even-
that
Sorry, carry on.
the episode of Super Speedy Cider Squeezy got banned in England because of the
Oh, cider.
because
And
of
it
the
was-
term mismatch. Because while Americans call cider just the pressed apples,
Yeah.
British call the fermented beverage. And
I
so
remember this. I
you
remember
couldn't
watching it
just-
on TV here.
No, it wasn't banned. They changed it
No,
because in the
they had-
US.
they had to change it some way. It all right, it wasn't outright banned. It was disapproved, and they had to alter it in some way. Did they call
Yeah,
it?
I have the
NG?
explanation. So in the US, cider is almost 100% alcoholic.
In the
Oh,
US?
sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. I got that backwards. In the US, cider is usually not alcoholic.
Yeah, it's just the pressed apples.
Yeah,
and
it's just
hard
like-
cider.
Yeah.
Hard
And
And
cider.
then
is
hard
the
cider
famous
in the
one.
US is alcoholic. Meanwhile, in the
Yeah.
UK, you guys refer to cider as almost always alcoholic. So they changed it to juice because they didn't want to encourage kids to start becoming alcoholics.
Because
Super
suddenly,
Juicy Squeezy 6000.
Yeah, okay. well,
Yeah,
It's
a
silly,
lot of-
obviously.
Yeah, generally speaking, a lot of changes they make between America and the UK kind of confuse me, but this one it makes some sense.
Yeah, that one made sense. It was just kind of trying to be like, look, kids, they are not drinking alcohol. Don't do that.
it's just all of a sudden a bunch of your favorite horses is getting wasted
Yeah.
with so much cider.
Oh,
Like,
my
more so-
favorite pony, Rainbow Dash, loves getting drunk on fucking cider.
Yeah, but in that
Mo-
case,
Mom, why
though,
can't I be like her?
But for one of the episodes that aired here, the one where it talks about, it shows how Applejack was a really was just a big
Dishonest?
liar when she was younger. That whole episode, I watched it on Netflix, and even though the subtitles, which I had on for some reason, said cider, what you were actually hearing was them saying juice. Every instance of cider was replaced with juice.
How badly? It's like, oh, I love me some favorite apple juice.
Juice.
Juice. They fucking completely erase it. Just have someone who walked in just say juice, splice that in.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't look like it didn't look like that. It sounded like it was recorded naturally, but yeah, it's still weird. I don't get why they did that. I mean, like I kind of can. It's probably for a similar reason as it getting censored in the UK, but again, this isn't the UK, so
Oh
I
man,
don't know.
yeah. There's also the
Yeah.
good point of fucking Big Mac was shown drinking cider like an alcoholic when he broke up with Sugar Bell.
That was.
There was also the
What
bar
hell?
that fucking like Discord was like sitting at with both of them, and it's a bar, but like there's a juice in the background rather than like alcohol. I thought that was great.
You know what? What I
It's not
think
alcoholic, you know.
It's not alcoholic, guys. It's
I-
just juice.
It's just
I
normal
can help the
juice.
show started taking a little bit different turn over the last 2 seasons. Like they kind of embraced they're gonna have a little bit different audience than they originally intended for, and so they're kind of getting this in the show without without many issues.
If you think about it, the show has also been around for, quite a few years at this point.
Yeah, since late 2010.
So you also have to
Yeah.
think that the people who started watching it back then are also like getting older as well. So they're probably trying to mature it slowly a little bit, but not much. And that's where I think like most of the maturity of the show is coming from. Like it's not getting anywhere near what you would expect from like a fucking PG-13 or anything.
So valid point.
But it gets a little closer to like PG.
I
Yeah.
always liked how they were getting away with some of the subtle references,
Yeah.
like the Metal Gear Solid box
Oh
with
yeah.
a question mark and stuff like that that you knew kids would not for 100% sure get, but it was still there, and you
Yeah.
knew it was there for the older people, and
Of course.
it just made you
They gotta put
realize.
in the stuff for the parents that have to watch it with their kids too. It's kind of like any Disney movie, you watch a Disney movie, there's still some adult humor that they like sneak in there.
That one's great. I can say.
So yeah, they managed to sneak some things in there that are highly like reference related, and you would only understand if you understood the reference, and that's always good.
Should we hop back to the cakes now though?
Yeah,
I
go
think we
back to the
should.
cakes.
Yeah. It's an
That was our
interesting
cider
discussion.
tangent.
But yeah, it is an interesting topic definitely. But otherwise this
Go,
podcast
NG.
will be like 4 hours. So
Yeah, we
my
don't need 4
apologies.
hours of cider discussion.
yeah. I
Drunk
could, but I
podcast
won't.
win.
You shouldn't have taken me on board.
Shouldn't have taken you.
Like, I'm gonna derail this train so many times.
So Mr. and Mrs. Cake, they were kind of funny. They just wanted to dump the kids, their hell babies, on Pinkie Pie, earliest convenience. But they seem to get more into the hang of it later. Like later seasons, we see them sort of refer to the babies again, and they're just like, oh yeah, like they're just kind of how you would imagine seeing a parent walking down the street. But early on, they're completely fucked.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about them other than I hate their character design, like physical design. Miss Cake looks like her face got like kicked in, and fucking
They do.
God, what's the other guy?
Mr. Cake.
Is it Carrot? Yeah, his name's fucking Mr. Cake, but like his name's like Carrot Cake. I forget the fucking
Something like that. Yeah.
her full name. But yeah, he just is tall, lanky, but his face is like blocky as shit. So I think they both look incredibly silly. But other than that, they're just pretty normal parents raising up babies.
Yeah, they're run-of-the-mill parents, but you see a different run-of-the-mill than you saw with Twilight.
Pretty much, yeah.
AI or Spirit? I'll open this to both of you if you want to add anything here, because it's they're not too special. There's not much to add here. Anything you guys want to throw in this?
Not particularly.
The cakes, right?
Yeah.
Not particularly.
Good. We can move past that then.
They're just really, really cheerful folks.
I did like the scene in the hospital, which is like, oh yeah, we got twins.
I like how they
Oh,
are
shit.
both like also different as well. Like I thought that was kind of unique that they put that in. Like, look, they're both Earth ponies, but then they have a unicorn and a Pegasus.
And then they threw
Like,
that
Maybe
like
Miss Cake,
implied
maybe she was
cheating thing, yeah.
cheating on a alicorn at some point or something.
I think someone actually like analysed all that bullshit he spewed out, and apparently it was legit.
Oh, there you go.
It could have actually
Yeah.
like gone all the way through down here. But it was funny. I enjoyed it. Definitely.
All right, move on to the next relevant parents.
Next, relevant parents. Next on the list, I've got one of the most recent episodes we'll be talking about here: Sunburst and Starlight, Glimmer's parents. So you got.
Oh yeah, but which one are we starting with first? Do we
I
want to
thought-
get the one that I know I'm gonna hate out of the way first?
Yeah, go on.
Let's go with Sunburst.
You can start this off then, Spone.
Yeah, Sunburst. Mom. Good. Nobody had a comment on that. All right, we're already off to a good start. Spirit, how do you feel about her?
Again, maybe they were a little bit exaggerated because they were meant as a tool to generate conflict in the episode, so something would be happening. As with mostly all parents out there. But I mean,
Most of MLP,
I can
really.
see it. A little bit. I can see. Understandable. I liked the design. I must say I really dug how they did. They're getting kind of more and more mature with the designs, and later character designs I feel like are just generally better. They have better taste for detail. Put them where they are useful.
They're more complex,
And-
yeah.
I'm not sure what more to say. Like,
No,
yeah.
no.
Like,
All right. AI, how do you feel
both
then?
of them, like, sure, when I was watching it earlier today, they did kind of remind me of Rainbow Dash's parents in a way, but you know, they're not quite the same though. Like they have different reasons for being the way they are, for one, and Sunburst's mom actually reminded me greatly about my my late grandmother, actually, because she, having taken care of me for 22 years, she always wanted the best for me, but very often I felt that sometimes she was, I felt a lot like the way Sunburst did in that episode. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It was
I
really
never-
relatable.
I never really met anyone who was like Starlight's dad, like with all the overly cutesy name calling and all that in public. But
The schmoopty-doo or
yeah.
whatever the hell it was. No, that was Starlight, wasn't it?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that was Starlight's. That was Starlight's dad.
The dad was Starlight's. Yeah.
Well,
Alright,
all right.
so-
NG, do you have
Yeah.
anything to add before I go
Sure.
on like a big old rant about both their parents?
Before you rip
Sure.
into them, I'm just gonna say that you know that face everyone's just like, oh yeah, Sunburst mom pulled that amazing face with like the lip.
Yeah, you know the one that's ugly and the lip looks like unnatural?
Yeah,
that one?
everyone says that's a really great face, but it's just such a punchable face. Like, you know, the subreddit are
It's-
punchable faces. That's just how
Yes.
I feel about that. It's so ugly and so horrible and so smug, but not a good smug like Trixie sometimes pulls off, or Rainbow Dash, or even Twilight sometimes. It's just something that you just hate, and that's all I wanted to say.
Also, there's one more thing that AI reminded me, as they are really similar to Rainbow Dash's parents. It's the same similarity between like Pinkie Pie's and Fluttershy's parents that's there between Rainbow Dash's and Sunburst and Glimmer's parents. Like they have both one like same base that they're overprotective on which you build, but you put completely different things on top. They both are like really enthusiastic and want to do best for their kids, but they're both like both parties are doing in completely different ways. So it's like I think it shows that there are similar traits among people, but the people can still be really different. If I said it right. There's really awkward silence right now.
No, we're just
No.
listening to you. We're getting you.
We're letting you talk. We're letting you finish your thoughts.
I know. It's
No,
different
it's-
to most VCs in the sense that someone isn't trying to like jump over you.
Yeah.
But no, if you're all good, you know,
that
we
would
can,
have been all. Thank you very much.
That'll be all right.
Thank you very much for listening. You're welcome, Spirit. You're welcome. Thank you for showing your your opinions. No, you got some good points though. You got some good points.
all right.
I think
Time
it's
for me to
both
bitch
time
about.
to yeah. All right, you start.
Even though it's
recommending.
not bitching, it's mostly just talking about their parents. So yeah, both of them have the same type of problem where they're being over controlling and protective of their kids or whatever. But in a way, they're also kind of opposites between both of them, and that's why I really liked the episode because it showed the differences. For Sunburst's mom, she's always like thinking about his future and trying to get him to plan for what's ahead. Meanwhile, Starlight's dad is always trying to like regress her back down to like being a child. So it's kind of like they both got obsessed with the different aspects of having a kid, where one is like always trying to improve and be ready for their future, and the other one is trying to like relive the memories they had when they were younger. And I thought that that was really neat. And it is kind of similar to like Rainbow Dash's parents with like the really supportive, except for Artie's is more of like healthy, supportive, just overdone. And their parents are not really helpful at all.
I think the main difference between those two is like the Sunburst and Glimmer's parents both tries to really control their child.
Yeah, it's really
Like,
controlling.
They tries to take their child's life, like project their own life, what they wanted to lead onto their child, which is another like a real issue in parenting. If you're talking about the real life stuff, well, with RD, it's just they were really eager to see what the kid does and supporting the kid in everything he does, but they weren't controlling it at all. I mean, which is like a really big difference. So if both they're exaggerated to the limits, but
So is it kind of similar to? Sorry, Svenny.
No, go for it. I was waiting for what you had to say.
All right, yeah. So it's kind of similar to when Starlight was trying to bring them both back to when they were kids in the season 7 thing. Except it's just
you
like
can kind of
parental.
Yeah, it's like a parental kind of thing where it's like you always they're sure it's trying to like baby her, and you know he just wanted her to be back down to like when the times that he had that was good with her, and it kind of shows that like that's how she handled the problem that she got, and that was kind of neat.
I am actually ashamed I did not notice this up until you mentioned it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I always like you being a little kid, you know, I don't want to lose you and stuff like that, and then you know that's how she handled Sunburst. It was interesting little thing they put in there, and honestly, did they do it on purpose or not? Who knows? But it's just kind of neat that that's how it ended up.
This podcast is both terrific and terrifying at the same time.
Why is it terrifying?
Because I'm realizing stuff I did not know was in the show this whole time, and now I'm wondering how deep the rabbit hole goes. If you know what I mean.
You're just gonna rewatch every episode and just heavily analyze everything. You can be a member of the analyst community, Spirit. Just start your own YouTube series where you just analyze every episode one by one.
There you go.
Frame by frame.
We're actually rebranding the podcast. It's going to be a we're going to look over everything. It's going to be our magnum opus.
Yes.
Yeah.
We won't stop until we're horse famous. We won't stop until we get free convention passes with that level of horse famous.
Oh,
exactly.
Yes, please. I haven't been to a pony convention yet, so that'd be nice.
Oh.
They should bring one over here to Florida.
Hello everybody, and thanks for tuning in the first episode of Let's Analyze the Fuck Out of every single episode.
Half of the YouTube videos out there. That better be.
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Chicken dinner, fucking red arrows everywhere.
Right.
Amazing 360 aerial no-scope headshot.
Make sure to comment free V-Bucks in the comments, guys.
Join the skin giveaway. Yep.
NG, move us forward, please. We don't need
no product
placement.
I have, because I forgot that Flurry Highlight exists, as with like 90% of people in the fandom, and some people do it accidentally, some people do it on purpose. I don't blame them.
Dude, now, Flurry
Cadance,
Heart, I can't forget.
Cadance, and Shining Armour.
Shining
They're both
Armour.
technically parents.
Yeah, they are.
You kind of see the same aspect of Mr. and Mrs. Cake when they had their newborn twins, except it actually shows these people and they don't just pawn it off on someone. I guess they do kind of pawn it off on Sunburst and Twilight, but
Yeah, they're also younger parents, which
Yeah.
is kind of neat.
they're younger parents, and I like that sort of thing was shown in the show. It's something you wouldn't expect it to tackle, I guess. But yeah, I'm happy to throw this discussion to some people. I'm way out of whack with who gets turn order here. So AI, you go first.
Yeah, give it to AI.
About
Cadance, Shining Armour.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that Shining Armour was probably my favorite parent character in the show. And like you can it's easy to tell that both he and Princess Cadance have a lot on their plates. Like sure they she has a whole kingdom to run firstly, and he's there to help. He's the leader of their
Guard.
militia or something, right? Yeah, and they also probably have the most the greatest hoofful of a child to take care of for obvious reasons.
Random Alicorn baby, yep.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Larson.
Thanks, Larson. You're my favorite. Thank you for adding Flurry Heart. We needed this.
Yeah, and when they did what was she? She was in she was a season 7 premiere, I believe. Wait,
No, Flurry
no,
Heart, season
6.
6 premiere, yeah.
Six.
Yeah, season
Yeah,
6.
6.
You call
Yeah,
yourself
they-
a
when they-
brony who knows everything. Shaking my head.
Yeah, the stuff that happened was pretty much what I would expect to happen. Like regarding them having a baby and all, like the fact that she's an alicorn, that she can't control her magical abilities.
Yeah, it's just kind of
And,
it's kind of the same two things with the Pumpkin Twins, but they're
Yeah.
both in one baby.
They're
Yeah,
both in one baby.
Yeah,
I don't think,
and she did almost cause their whole kingdom to. She did put them all in danger.
Oh yeah, she almost killed like an entire city. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The entire kingdom, yeah.
That's why she's the best.
She got further than any villain.
She's not even a villain and got better fucking than all the other villains.
All the villains should be ashamed. The young villain prodigy.
Her eyes are big.
Her eyes up. That is
Oh,
100%.
That's always a plus.
Is it? Kind of looks creepy.
No, what I really like is her eyes are really big. Yeah,
Her wings are really big.
they actually are, and I think that's a really nice.
probably because of alicorn stuff. Like, when Twilight became an alicorn, she got very slightly taller and her horn got a little bit longer.
I want to know the kind of people that actually know this kind of stuff. Like, do they fucking watch the show and then they see it and they're like, wait a minute, and they fucking cross-reference, like, get the images, lay them over each other?
Yes, there is a fucking
really...
candy cane in an episode, and then that was used as like a height reference.
Yeah, they use it as the height reference.
Because
I
they
saw
were
We're
that.
using the
they said,
candy
like,
cane
yeah.
ratio of measuring
Oh,
today.
that's a 12-foot tall candy cane, and they actually said that in the show. And there was a pony standing next to it. And then from that, the universal height reference of MLP was born.
Yeah,
Well-
height referencing is silly, but whatever. We'll allow it.
Yeah, what do you think? You did not finish.
Yeah, just I think that was about it. Like they have a lot as parents. They already have a lot to deal with, and I think
Alright.
they go about it pretty well. And the show depicts them as such.
Oh.
Yeah. Even when they have to take that break at the museum or something.
Yeah. I like that one.
I
That was funny.
I really like that instead, also the opposite with cakes. this actually depicts the aftermath of having kids. When they're all completely worn out and tired and have red eyes and messy hair and half dead and not being able to walk.
When
That's
yeah.
having kids in a nutshell.
When they met Twilight at the train, that was good. And Shining Armour just looked like he just went through hell.
Quality parents.
He kinda did.
Yeah, Spirit, do you
So-
want to throw some more words out? Yeah.
Yeah, one more thing I realized I like about Fluttershy is how her wings are so big. Actually, if you notice how the little fillies look in real life, the horses, they have really disproportionately long legs. I think it's kind of interesting to see. I wonder if this was what pardon me, what was going on in their heads when they designed Fluttershy. Like they chose to make the wings so big. Also gave Scoots another reason to cry.
That's
And
always
then
good.
Spike gets wings, and
Has-
Scootaloo has another reason to cry, and it's
Has
just
Scootaloo ever seen Flurry Heart? Like, have they?
yes.
Yeah. You just get a Scootaloo. What is she gonna do? Tell her parents?
Just
No,
funny
what
how-
are you gonna do?
Funny how they never address that. Like I imagine if Scootaloo actually did see her wings, she'd have something to say.
I think now is a great time to transition. What do we think is going to happen? Do we think Scootaloo has parents or not?
Yeah, she has. And they're overprotective of their real non-adoptive daughter.
I mean, like it's been we're in season 8.
Yeah, she's basically been
If
adopted.
I feel like if they wanted to show her parents by now, they totally could have, but then again, maybe they just don't have a reason to. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I-
mean, personally, I kind of like the idea of her not having parents.
Yeah,
but,
I like it.
I
Yeah,
think
me
I
too.
recall. I think I recall there being said that Scootaloo will never fly. That she's meant to represent the disabled. That she just live with a disability. And I'm not sure if there was anything said about her parents though.
I mean, she's basically been
Yeah.
adopted by RD's,
Yeah.
Rainbow Dash's parents.
There you go.
And that wouldn't have happened if she actually had some. So I think
I
maybe
think yeah, I think something must have happened to the parents. I wouldn't be that much surprised if they weren't in the show anymore. They just can't show it. Like if you take the episode with the tank, for instance, the tank was originally meant to die in the early concepts of the episode, but they just didn't
And
climb
they
it.
said, we can't do that.
Yeah, because it would have been too rough, so he just like hibernated. At which point the show did not really make sense, like the whole song and the whole trying when the tank was just gonna sleep for a few months and then come back. Why
Well,
are you
it's like-
overreacting? That's a
It's
different topic.
it may be Rainbow Dash, and I wouldn't put this past her since she is kind of dumb. But maybe they just told her that, like, oh yeah, the turtles just go to sleep, or sorry, tortoise goes to sleep, kind of like when you flush a dead fish down the toilet and you say it's going to the ocean. It's like, yeah, they're just gonna hibernate. Don't worry, he'll come
Actually,
back.
Wouldn't
And
that
like-
contradict?
Yeah,
When
and then
you
when they're
said earlier that she's kind of dumb, that would require some like connection and thinking to get to the point that they're actually playing her and
Like-
Tank's about to die.
maybe she just doesn't know that, like, fucking tortoise is, maybe she doesn't know that the tortoise is real old. Maybe Fluttershy's like, oh, by the way, this tortoise is kind of dying, and she's like, I want that one as a pet. It's like, okay, and then it's like,
That's
oh,
a
well.
big hearted
Flash
making
forward,
the last
and
year.
Fluttershy's like, yeah, Tank's about to die, and all them like, oh man, I don't think Rainbow Dash can handle that kind of like
Yes.
thing. It would ruin her. So instead of telling her that he's gonna die, they're just, yeah, he's gonna hibernate.
How long do they
And,
hibernate for? Oh,
and-
rest of your life, maybe.
Oh, and then when he's hibernating, and be like, oh, we lost him. Don't know where he went. Oh well, guess we'll get you a new pet.
An eagle!
No, by the end
Oh,
of like
you
the
can
4 or
have the
5
eagle.
months that he hibernates, Rainbow Dash will just forget about him.
Yeah, sure. Her
That's
attention span's
kinda
short enough.
cruel.
Her attention
I thi-
span's short enough. She'll probably forget.
Yeah, but this is just what I meant to say, that I wouldn't be that surprised if actually Skittles' parents were dead. She was an orphan, but they just can't say it out loud in the show for the similar reasons as in this episode. Tang just was not allowed to die. Just the overseeing gods said no.
All right.
And yeah,
Well, that's. Huh?
and I already expressed my opinion on her getting adopted.
Yeah, no, I think that that's good. And not having parents being adopted, that's unique. It kind of shows off a different perspective of like, look, you can be adopted and it's okay.
It is okay. I like Scootaloo is basically the
Disabled adopted kid.
yeah if something's wrong with your life, you'll probably relate to this one. But I think that's what's good about the show. We have such a wide range of characters that you can relate to anyone.
There you go.
That's nice.
One character at a time.
What
Okay,
about on the
NG.
topic of possibly dead parents? AJ,
Yeah.
Applejack. That's a nice
I
one.
think that
So we can talk about what we actually saw of them. So of them not being dead, we can throw some words out of them. So on the topic of them not being dead, what about you Spirit? Do you have anything to say about not dead Pear Butter and Bright Mac?
I would definitely love to see them more in the show. I don't think one episode was enough for them. But
We need
on
more
the other hand,
flashbacks.
on the other hand, their role seems to be replaced by Big Mac now. Either way, I'm not sure it was said ever they were dead. But I know
It's
that-
heavily implied.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a canon, if they just left for whatever reason, if they went away for some. I recall there was like, if your parents were here, if they could see you. One episode when they were talking, someone was talking to
It's
AJ.
when they got their cutie marks. The little ones got their cutie marks. Cutie mark crusaders.
Yeah, the CMC.
Now, there's only one thing that really throws off the timeline, and that was when Applejack was like shown as being a liar all the time or whatever. With they flash back to younger fucking Applejack and Big Mac.
Oh, because the parents weren't there.
and
but
Apple
neither was
Bloom.
Apple Bloom.
Yeah, Apple Bloom wasn't present,
She
so
was
it's
just
kind of
sleeping.
like, whoa, what's going on? You
She
know,
was
but
a-
She was
Yeah.
just sleeping the whole day. She was tired after a whole day.
She was a little baby. What do you expect little babies to go running around, going around the town with the big
Yeah.
sister? That's not how it
Yeah.
works.
Did you just ask that after we discussed 3 really wild creatures from hell?
Yeah, but Apple Bloom's an earth pony. She can't do shit.
No,
Yeah.
she can open the doors with her head.
She
Head
just
on.
headbutts shit. She just
That's
goes
the
like
life of being a fucking earth pony. Just headbutt everything.
just like the yaks. Apple Bloom smash, and it just smashes the bed
Exactly.
frame, the crib, the parents' face, everything. Oh, that's how they died, guys.
All right, I will say I have one thing to say on Applejack's parents, and that's really it. Their episode that they were in was like phenomenal. It was great. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
Had a
Yeah.
good song in it.
Oh,
It was
yeah, it's one
wonderful.
of the best in the
However,
show, definitely.
the episode good. Parental development god awful. Didn't really develop their characters at all, aside from Romeo, Juliet, Mark, whatever.
That
Oh
was,
yeah.
but that was the episode. It
Yeah,
was the Romeo
like,
and
the
Juliet
episode was
episode.
great. Character development was not really there.
I
It was
don't
just kind of
think
like
there
they
was.
exist, and this is how they got together. But you don't learn anything really about their characters aside from they are Romeo and Juliet.
I understand, but was there really a point for them to develop? The whole plot of that episode was based around this one thing. You couldn't just branch it into them having
Oh yeah,
discussing
no, I'm not
how are
saying
they.
it's. I
You
said
can
the
s-
episode was good.
But I mean, you couldn't just branch it into them discussing how are they gonna raise their 3 kids.
Oh yeah,
There could be an
I think
episode
that the
about in
episode
future,
itself,
yeah.
the episode itself is really good. I just think that they need like another episode or something for actual parental development. Because as is, it doesn't really
Yeah.
feel like there's much there for them. It's kind of like
On
looking at,
that,
like,
I
the,
must agree.
And you
Pinkie
said
Pie's Young
that,
Family.
You said that the Apple family have very similar personalities, which probably leads to some very hands-on parenting, which calls there. So it could be Granny
Yeah.
Smith, I guess, but it could be decent to be shown from
Yeah,
them.
very family oriented, and it's a very good episode, and they have a very healthy family, but there's just not a lot of character development because you don't get to see them do anything or any little quirks. It's just kind of they're there and it introduces them, and it's like Romeo Juliet. Look, family is important, and if you love someone, sometimes you gotta do things, and people won't always be accepting of what you want in life, but you have to break away from your family sometimes to make your own decisions, kind of thing, and that's good.
Yeah, and like I'm sure it's no question that they're all healthy, considering it's probably true that they consume more than one apple a day.
Oh my
So
god, that was all
awful.
just to build up to a joke. I'm proud of you, AI. I'm proud of you.
That was magnifique.
That was.
A bit of a tangent, but like do we think that the pies and apples are related?
They could be, but honestly, it doesn't matter. Not much.
Yeah, it doesn't matter by this point. Like,
I
yeah,
mean, it's
think-
like close friends are basically family, anyways. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're related, to be honest. I think
No, it's okay. Don't go there. You don't need to do this to yourself. You don't want to be attacked by people saying, "Why do you mean? What do you mean?"
Yeah, this is gonna be posted online. Anyone can listen to this and then find you and hate you.
But will they?
But will they?
Possibly.
Yes. Don't underestimate the internet.
Don't underestimate. They'll find a way to
You see-
hate you.
don't underestimate the internet. I will be hated anyway. Like, hey people, I love you. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Well, all right.
No matter
That's
what I
fair.
say, I'm gonna get hate. And I'm
Pretty
either
much.
gonna get it from NG or I'm gonna get it from some people I can relate to. So
That's alright.
I'm gonna choose the people.
You don't have
I
a
mean,
terrible
no.
OC, so
basically.
I don't have to hate you for that.
Do I even have an OC? I
You're
do.
a deer. You're
You haven't
literally a
seen
deer.
it.
That's your OC. Just a
I-
generic.
NG.
Yep.
I
What is
have
our next?
one.
What is
The
our
next
next?
one.
Next-
The next one is the final.
It's
AI, did you want to say anything on
no.
All right. So the next one is the final big topic. I got one minor one on the end, but this is the final big one. Terramar's parents. So Terramar, for those that aren't familiar with the name, is Silver Stream. No, not Silver Streams. Yeah, Silver
Yep.
Stream's sister, brother. Silver
Brother.
Stream's
Brother, sister. It's a thing.
It's a trap. No.
In
it's
I hope
it's a
not.
trap.
episode 6, Surf and Turf. So his parents, his dad lives in Mount Eris. His mother lives in Sequestria, which I still
Sequestria.
maintain is a terrible name.
Sequestria.
I
Yeah,
was
I think it's all right.
no, Mount
Of
Eris
of
greater
course you
than
would, AI.
Sequestria. There's
it's a terrible name. To
It
be
is a
honest.
terrible name. It is a terrible
Sequestria.
They
I
could
need
have
to-
came up with something better.
basically the
But-
main thing this is here for is that they're separated somehow. It's kind of implied that they're divorced. And again, it's another thing that adds a extra relatable aspect to the show for those that can relate to it, which I think is nice. But so I'll throw this off to AI. You watched the
That's Spirit's
episode.
turn.
Yeah,
What if you
Spirit's turn?
I watched it just before this podcast started.
I
Uh,
let
Alright.
AI take it
They-
anyways? Let AI go. You've already
they,
Yeah.
started.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I've
like,
been talking a lot.
it doesn't. Like, it's never actually stated that they're divorced, of course, because like, it's probably a bit too strong of a topic to literally bring up in a children's show. But even if they aren't, I feel like that his situation can be relatable to kids in real life who are going through divorce between their parents. Since like I'm sure there are people who have felt like that they needed to choose, like if they even had that option, like if they weren't forced to live with one or the other. But like well, firstly, I like the way that the episode as a whole was carried out. Even had a really nice song.
The only one.
Yeah, like in the end, it was shown that he never had to choose between living with where his father lived or his mother lived, because he, like, why would you have to, really? And it's kind of like how in real life, like sharing custody of your children is a thing too. So
Yeah, that's kind of what happened
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end, isn't it?
As for the parents themselves, they just seem like really nice, jolly people, kind of like some of the other parents in the show. Like,
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything bad to say about them.
Another one of those parents you'll definitely wave at.
Yep.
I would definitely wave at those parents.
Oh yes.
Spirit, do you got anything that you want to add?
I really agree with AI and the message that I think it's important message that could help some kids who are going through this, like settle things, like settle it in their minds. I think it was good, it was portrayed, and it was important even. I just feel like, again, for the sakes of not making it rough, they were like sugarcoating the whole situation. Same with, as I mentioned, Tang. They like the situation in the real life is not gonna be like pleasant and happy.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it can have a good solution. You can work to it, but it's not gonna be like a walk in a park. So in the end, when they saw each other and were like, "Yo, what's up? It's really good to see you," and started talking, and it was like that's not how it would probably carry out if the parents met.
It's
And
still
Yeah.
kind of awkward though. Like,
It's possible, but not likely.
I think that it ended in way too happy end to really represent what a divorce would feel like.
I guess yeah, I can
You
understand.
know,
Yeah, that'd
but
be pointing to something that it'd be pointing to the suggestion that they're not actually divorced, but just even so, that just means the way they're choosing to live is a bit odd, even if it's understandable. Like the episodes show that both places were really great places to live for different reasons. Yeah.
Mount Eris is the
Yeah.
happiest though. I think that's just
Oh,
good.
fucking
I've I
sequestration.
feel, yeah, because of not of the name, like who could live in Sequestria,
Exactly.
right?
I'd be
No, but-
fucking embarrassed ordering packages, trying to have them sent to Sequestria, making the people laugh all the time.
Well, I mean, ponies
Can I-
live in
can I order a
Equestria,
pizza?
so sea ponies live in Sequestria. It's natural.
It's awful.
You're awful.
No,
Oh,
Don't worry,
because we're
Spoon,
fired.
you
Let's
don't have to write the you don't have to write the address down. Remember, you just have to write images that relate to the pony that's being sent to.
yeah,
That's
there
how
you
the
go.
postal service works.
Where is it
Is
going?
that how
Just draw a
is that how
fish.
it worked for Discord when someone had to deliver something to his place?
No, it's how it worked for Pear. Fucking,
Oh,
or
yeah.
not Pear. Fucking Big Mac and
Sugar
Sugar
yeah,
Bow.
But yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Actually,
Oh yeah,
just
you haven't seen
wanna-
that one AI, have you?
Oh, was that another one from this season?
Yeah,
Probably
season
not.
8,
Yeah.
episode 12, 11,
Okay.
10, one of
Yeah,
those. It's double
I'll catch
digits.
up. I'll catch up.
Gotta fire you for not being caught up with the show.
Yeah, that is a heresy. Even Spirit's
When
caught
we-
up. Actually, no, you haven't seen the
More or
movie,
less.
goddammit.
yeah, just disclose it to the entire internet. Now I'm gonna get the hate.
Now you're getting the hate.
Now you get the hate.
Thanks,
You deserve
thanks,
it though.
Larson.
What
Anyway,
about
I-
you?
You know
And-
what was weird? Since if we're getting back to the parents, what was kind of weird was it felt like they not only did not, I mean, it was disclosed that they did not realize what they were putting their son through, but it felt like they did not even like realize what they were doing at all, and they did not care. Like if they're parents and they're not really divorced because they're still really good friends, they just don't have like if they did not have the capacity to care whether their partner is around or not, they just didn't, and they didn't mind just living their life. Oh, here you are, I'm married to you, right? Like,
Yeah, they didn't really
That's
care about their
a
son,
li-
to be honest. Like, he just kind of
That's
like
a-
trudged around the place.
that felt a little bit weird. The ending. But as I said, it was just trying to make the ending as sugar-coated as possible. Do not offend anyone.
Yes.
So-
Spone, what do you?
I personally feel like they did a very good job with that episode representing how a divorce feels like for the kid more so than like what it is for everyone involved. Because from what I remember, his only issue was that he never had to choose. He just felt like he had to.
Right.
Because everyone else already did, so he kind of felt like he had to choose on where he was living. And having my parents divorce as well, it's kind of like, yeah, that's kind of how it feels at times. And especially like as a kid, you're like, you see all these people with their parents who are, they don't move around, they don't go back and forth, they stay in one place the whole time. And for him, it's like he wants to have that and be in the same place, but also he wants to spend time with both. And so he kind of felt like he needed to choose, even though he really didn't need to. And it was a very good lesson to like teach people who have divorced parents.
Yeah, I agree.
That was
Also, a
good.
bit of a side note. So I just like how they got the CMC to solve this friendship problem, TM, but like not for something related to a cutie mark. I think that was a good decision.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
friendship problem, not a cutie mark problem. That was good.
Yeah, when in doubt, chart it out. Do you think this went on with the creator team?
When in
Just
doubt,
chart it out.
put Cutie Mark Crusaders in on an episode because they're never bad.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a little curious as to what you have lined up for the last one.
Oh, the last one was just I saw someone mention it in chat. It was just Trixie's dad. That's what I meant.
Oh,
Like, it's a
okay.
very small one.
Yeah,
but-
no, it is incredibly small.
It is incredibly small. So basically, what do people think is the story behind Trixie's dad? So it's been confirmed that he is indeed Trixie's dad, and the director, the lead writer or whatever, said the question is, does he know that he's Trixie's dad? And he lives in New Vegas, not New Vegas, that's a game. Las
Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
That's it. So
New Vegas, it's a game.
So it can be. There's some stuff implied there, but yeah. Did you guys have any
Oh.
thoughts on this topic? I just wanted
All
to
I'm
mention
gonna
him for
say-
completeness.
Oh, we
He
gonna
has
say.
the best disappearing act. That's it.
Yeah, that was good dude. That was tops.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think I like the idea. Obviously, again, they could not disclose it outright, but the idea of him running away from the past, maybe not even being that aware he has a daughter, like Trixie being raised by a single mother, which would, like, not even knowing her father, which would lead her not getting enough attention and then eventually, like, needing to get the attention through her shows.
Yeah.
No.
Also,
Hey, you
kind
want to
of.
throw something out on that one? I feel like you can say something about that, surely.
Who? Who?
Trixie being raised with only a single
No, I mean,
mother.
who are you asking?
You Spone, like
All right,
Trixie being
I had
raised
to
with
make
a
sure.
single mother. How'd that affect someone's development?
It's better to have multiple people raising you. Now, if it's an unhealthy relationship, it's better to have one person. But if you have multiple healthy people raising you, whether it be a mom, dad, mom, dad, parents, grandparents, whoever the fuck raising you, you got multiple healthy people. It's better than just one. But
Question is how healthy people can be raising you if you hook up with someone on one night, he abandons you when he finds out you're pregnant, then you have to raise a kid. You certainly will love the kid.
Yeah,
Well,
that's-
not certainly. You probably will love the kid and will try your best, but it's gonna leave some scars, and then
Oh, yeah,
the kid's
of course.
definitely going to notice and feel it throughout the relationship.
well, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, if you had like completely healthy people raising you, it wouldn't that matter if it's like
It would be
not
better
standard.
than if someone in the situation did not have multiple healthy people. That was what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the ideal, but it would be better.
All right. So, any other words to throw out on Trixie there before we start closing this up?
Yeah, I'm good.
All I'm saying is that in my headcanon, basically, she ran away from home because she never got the attention that she wanted from her father, and he was always gone and out doing all these shows and stuff. So she decided that she was going to one up him.
Caring more about
Oh,
his tricks.
That's
If they go
that's
through with
my
something
point.
like that, that'd be pretty sweet.
you a fanfic writer, Spone?
no, I'm not, but I got great ideas. So all I'm saying though, one day maybe she just snaps because like he's not there for her birthday party or something, runs away, and she's gonna show him she's gonna be better than he was, and then season finale or generation finale, that's what's gonna happen right there.
You know what? My personal headcanon is that she never knew her father,
No,
but
you don't know that.
you can't destroy the genes no matter how hard you try. She just had way too much of
And
her
there's
father
just-
in her.
It's just a set of genes that just means you perform magic.
You have
But
magician genes.
you have the wanderlust, if you know what I mean. Just want to go out and just prove herself being worthy,
Yeah.
and without even knowing who she has that from, who her father was, and that it will be an interesting reunion once they meet up.
Maybe if she finally does enough shows, she'll get her dad's approval.
That's all she wanted. She wanted to be better than him to really show him up and finally get that praise that she always wanted in the intention.
Exactly.
All right, I think that's really it that we had set up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was Rarity's parents, but like we're not going to talk
Yeah,
about them.
Rarity's
They
parents
did-
are irrelevant.
They were barely in it. But I did want to ask you some
Like-
questions, Spoon, with your
Oh, yeah, no, go for it.
psychomatic memory. Yeah, you know what I mean. Who did you think?
Psychosomatic or what? Like,
You know words better than I do. Just sub something in that's relevant.
oh, okay. You want to know about psychology then? All right.
Yes. So, who did you think were the best and the worst parents in the show, in the sense of a healthy relationship and like a healthy family?
Healthiest
So
would
the
probably
parenting.
be Twilight's parents because they're supportive and they are there and they encourage her, but they don't like hold her back or anything.
So the same reason
They-
they're kind
they-
of boring as well.
Yeah, they give her room to improve on herself rather than like trying to lead her life for her, but they also are supportive and help her when she needs help.
And then she ended up a fucking princess. So damn, they really did do a good job, didn't they?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
obviously,
Oh,
and
yes.
it does help also that they're high members of society and have money and all that shit. But we'll scoot past that.
Yeah, that's...
The sociological stuff we'll move past. Worst probably Pinkie Pies, just because not there, not really supportive, not really caring, just kind of like we're gonna work now. Everyone go work on the rock farm. Yeah,
I mean, if I had to pick a worst, I'd probably go with theirs. Yeah.
yeah. Not like I'm not trying to say it's like awful. Like some
I get what
people
you
are
mean.
fine,
I mean, Pinkie Pie
but
just ended up as some...
for a parenting style applied to real life with kids, you probably want to have a little more hands on than that, and you kind of want to also give them opportunities.
What do you mean hooves?
Rather than holding people in the same position where they are. They don't have any chance to really grow upon themselves until they come across something themselves, but even then they don't have a strong connection with their parents at that point. Of course the show's going to make it a little nicer than that, but in real life you probably don't want that.
Yeah, okay.
Like kind of what was brought up like by Crafty there is like pretty much Pinkie would have been depressed all the time if like there wasn't that intervention with the rain boom kind of thing. You have to have some sort of outside experience kind of take you out of that. And if you don't have that, you're just going to kind of be stuck.
And this
So
is how I
you're saying
refer back
they're-
to me hating them.
There you go.
So this is why you're saying they're worst parents, because they wouldn't give the impulse themselves. It needed to come from outside.
Yeah, there was no sort of like assistance there. They didn't even give opportunities for it to happen. It was kind of just, you're going to stay here with us. We're not really going to support you or encourage you to try new things. It's just kind of like, you're here and you work for us. It's almost like slavery, but I don't want to say that because, that's not what it really is, but it's kind of what it is.
Slavery, but they're related.
Basically, we give birth to you, so now we own you.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Okay, so what about... We could have closed this off with throwing it to you two as well. Same question. So we talked about favourite parent earlier, but in terms of
Sure.
parenting, best and worst. So AI said
Yes.
he had. Sorry, Spirit, you can start actually. Yeah.
I wanted to say there's one more thing before we wrap this up we could talk about, and it doesn't have to be long. But I was wondering about your opinions on the Royal Sisters parents. Because
Non-existent, doesn't matter, not canon. Don't do it.
because obviously, like I way back when the show started, I thought they were like demigods of the realm, like existed before the sun and everything, and just their world formed around them. But now in later episodes, they were showing, not even later episodes, it was shown even earlier, but they were showing how the world and the society existed way before Celestia and Luna came in. So why would they came in? Where they came from?
I think that this really flashes back to that one episode with the Pinkie sense, where there's just some things that you're not going to know about, and you just kind of have to let it be.
What would a pony do? Yeah, right?
You don't,
Anyway,
you don't got to worry about it. These are the questions you don't need to worry about.
These are the things you can just sweep under the rug. They exist. That's what they existed.
They exist. They have came into existence at some point, and they do their job.
Just
And
because
there
we
you go.
can't explain something, or we can't understand the explanation, doesn't mean there is not.
Yeah, there might be an explanation out there, but we just don't know.
Same for Pinkie Sense. Just because you can distinguish it right now, or figure it right,
Yeah.
figure it
And if
out
we
right
ever
now.
find out later on, we can talk about it more. But as is, we just don't. We don't know.
And plus,
Alright,
you
so
know,
you-
like 2 or 3 podcasts ago, we determined that Celestia is Luna's mum, right? We got that.
Yeah, Celestia. Yeah, Celestia is Luna's mom. Obviously, we talked about that one. So there you go.
Yeah, that's basically canon. You can
Hold up,
refer back to podcast 5, I think. If you want
I have an emote just for this.
All right, I do.
Oof.
Anyway, so you don't even want to express your secret inner opinions on the topic.
I don't have an opinion on it. It's just like I don't
Yeah.
have enough information to base anything off of. I could
Same
come
as
up with some
Rarity's one, really.
elaborate plot where it's like, oh, you see, they were actually born from a star and they came down and fucking gave life to the planet, and then they birthed these 2 rulers to control everything and make sure life stays fine there. But no, I don't know. Maybe they were born from a fucking rock.
No, actually, you don't know. Actually, the sun is a huge egg.
There was actually a giant egg that cracked open and
One
they
day
came
it
out.
cracked open, and so the yolk became the Celestia. But because it was so close to the sun, the outside got a little bit burned, and that's why Luna is always so grumpy.
There you go.
That
There's
was from a fanfic I read.
that's a creation story right there.
I'm not gonna claim.
This is canon.
that-
I can have this as canon.
That was Philly's interpretation of how those 2 came to existence, and it's not mine. It's from fanfic. I'm not gonna claim ownership for this.
Wait, that's actually a real thing.
AI,
I don't want
AI,
this
do
to
you
be-
have
Yeah.
your favorite parents before we go back to Spirit, because he had to derail us with that weird question?
My favorite? I already shared my favorite.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
yeah,
who
but
do you think is
like-
best?
Yeah, which one do you think would be best? Which one, if you had to choose the parent for you, which one would you want?
A parent for me now. Okay. Probably either Twilight's or Pinkie's.
Why
honestly.
Pinkies?
Why Pinkies?
Oh, sorry, not Pinkie's. I was thinking the cakes. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
the
right.
cakes.
Yeah.
The cake. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, cakes is fine.
You literally said
No,
5 minutes
I-
ago that
I
Pinkies
don't-
were the worst.
I don't want to be raised like a rock.
You are now going to work on Rock Farm, and you're gonna like it.
I have a metal farm instead.
No, rock.
Depends on what band you end up farming there.
Just slowly mining Metallica.
Welcome to my mine. We are mining diamonds. This is not a strip mine.
This is not karaoke, you mean?
Yeah, it is. No, that's for a future
Anyways.
podcast.
You know, everything
number
is
10.
karaoke. Everything's karaoke when NG's around.
Spirit, which parents would you want?
I have to say Twilight for one simple reason.
Absolutely.
It's not that because because of the reasons you put. It's because it's the most similar to what I have.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
grateful
it's
for that,
healthy.
but That's the as a family I came from. Like, yeah,
It is the
So-
healthiest family right there.
I can't say I don't like it. We are and we have a really good relationship between each other, even after years of kids getting out of the house. Still, it holds together strong. So yeah, I really
Yeah.
would not change.
What about you, NG? Where are you sitting at?
Either Twilights or RDs, maybe. Rainbow
You,
Dashes.
you want the super supportive ones of everything you do.
Yeah.
You do a
pretty-
podcast, like you look in the comments, it's
Yeah,
like,
I can respect that.
"Woo!
That'd be pretty fucking
You
embarrassing.
did it!"
But okay, Rainbow Dash's parents as they were after the episode.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I should clarify that a little bit more. Maybe it'll be pretty funny.
Basically, no, best parents. You guys got it all wrong. Like I was saying, Twilight's is the best for like a kid. Now that I'm like the age that I am, dude, Fluttershy's parents don't have to do anything. Live at home, ideal. There you go.
That's the.
Is that the real life you would like to lead?
No,
Honestly?
it's a good joke though. It led for
good
a
joke.
good joke.
That's the. What would Pony do?
Yeah.
That's the Twilight 200 IQ play you just had there, Spone.
The 200 IQ. I was playing fucking 4D chess right there with that play.
Hmm.
All right, is that it? Do we got any other closing statements people want to have?
I'm good. Well, aside from thanks for having me. It was really nice and fun.
Yeah, you were on the first one, isn't it? But other than that,
I was, yeah.
What about you, Spirit? You wanna say thank you, maybe?
Yeah. Say
Um,
thanks.
No.
All right. Well, that's what I thought. Don't
Well,
worry, we're
because
not
of that,
inviting you back again.
I'm gonna throw it to AI to say the sum up this podcast in like one sentence.
Oh yeah, if you had to sum up the
Actually,
podcast.
now, to be honest, I'd like to thank you all. I'm glad I finally got a chance, and it wasn't foiled by any unforeseen consequences.
You never
Yeah,
had your internet
same
fucking
here,
up this
really.
time.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
here too.
I'm really glad it worked out.
All right, Spirit also, or AI, I guess both of you guys. Do you guys have one sentence to sum up this podcast? Go for it.
Whoever thinks of it first goes first. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, whoever has it first basically gets it. So
All right, there we go. Thank you.
that was complete silence is the best way to sum up this one.
That is
Now, do
a great TLDR right there.
Do we follow up on that? Because it was pretty much perfect.
I just meant
I'm
like if
over
you
that.
had anything you wanted to sum up there. I mean, if you got nothing, yeah.
But it was just deeply analyzing fictional characters and relationships to compensate our non-functional relationships in real life.
There you go. That's ideal summary right
job.
there. Thank you.
What was AI?
NG, you're gonna put that in.
Well, I was just telling him, great job.
Yeah,
Oh,
he already
great
got
job.
it.
Yeah,
We're good.
yeah, okay.
All right, say goodbye.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for listening.
Goodbye.
And
Yes.
thank you to the guests again. And yeah, we'll see you next time.